Hey guys, had to come back finally and do a blog post. It's been a little while. I think the last one was back in November that I made. So I wanted to give an update on what's been going on, and I apologize for not keeping up on these. Just been busy. Then the last 3 weeks hasn't been like the best for me either. So I currently am sitting around 250.6 this morning. So I hit around this weight. It's about 3-4 weeks ago, and kind of been stagnant right there. A few reasons why, and I'm not just going off weight, but just off progress in general. So 3 weeks ago, like, things happened. Renee and I traveled a lot. We went up to Dallas, went down to Rockport for Thanksgiving, and that's just hard to like be consistent with like where you're training at, meal timing. It's just easy for stuff to get off. Then my allergies hit, and these are all excuses, right? Then my allergies hit, which just killed my appetite. So I couldn't push food any higher during that because I felt like everything was just sitting like a rock. Then I had a sneeze happen during this time that tore something like in my oblique, kind of. I can't really identify like the exact muscle. I thought it might be my oblique, but something that when I have like that internal pressure, like pushing out like a sneeze, and I held it in, something popped in there, and it was so painful, and I couldn't brace myself, my core during training for about a week, another week and a half after that. Finally, it feels good. I can actually go as hard as I want now and not have an issue with it. But all this time, it just was enough to propel me forward, making progress. And looking back, there's a few things I would have done different the last couple weeks. For one is regarding my blast. I switched out some things, and I ended up going to something a little weaker that I thought would have a good impact, just changing, and it didn't. And so I'm not going to go into details of it, but it's noted on my end what I would change that. Then also, I think it would have been a good time around my like 6-7 week mark to push volume up more aggressively. I was recovering well, and just I think I was just being a little too conservative with pushing up how much volume I could really handle. Yeah, I think I could have gone training like 3 days on, 1 day off, and maybe add a few extra work sets for some muscle groups in there. Then with regarding food, I think just with the supplementation and training, just see how food would have played out with it. A few things happen that I just are out of my control, right? So I have to just go with it and eat what I can. And going into this off season, when I first started, I told myself like I wasn't going to do anything really aggressive to push my body mass up, and not just body mass, but just size in general, right? So I'm not going to be abusing anything, food, supplementation, or anything to get my weight up. So all in all, when I started this blast, I was around 241. Came up about 251 now, 10 pounds up in 10 weeks. I would consider that successful overall. There's mistakes within that, but overall it was a good run. And I do think my back has brought some improvements to it. My quads always come up a lot. They just naturally will hit I think it was nearly an all-time PR on my hack squat, which was 8 plates and a 10 for 9 reps. And then my quads are measuring right close to 30 inches. So they're about that size when I was 260 last year. So I think that's some good quality size that's been added, and with conditioning probably a little better than it was last year. So with all that said, I still want to try to make 212. I really would like to. I don't know if that's going to happen. Just depends how prep goes, and if I end up if I'm gonna do prep how I want to and take time with it. I'm thinking like 20 weeks, give myself refeeds, and just let it happen. I might not make it down there, but again, I'm just gonna let my body kind of do what it wants to on prep, and if it's not gonna be close to 212, then it won't be close. But I think right now where my conditioning and weight is, I think it's a good move to just cruise now and get ready for prep. So that's what I'm going to do moving forward. I've been on just doing like HRT now for the past week. I'll continue that for about should be about 9 weeks, I think, till I'm 20 weeks out. So about mid-February is when I'm going to start prep. Diet-wise, I pulled a little bit back in carbohydrates. I'm just really trying to more maintain, moving into like a cruise mode. I'm not going to be growing at any rate. It was already hard to grow during a blast, so if anything, I would just be putting more body fat on. And I pulled back food some, so right now, let's see, I am at 4,300 calories, 600 grams of carbs, 330 grams of protein, and 70 grams of fat. That's on my training day. Off days, I drop it quite a bit to 330 grams of carbs. The rest of the macros are relatively the same, and I have that posted below if y'all want to check it out. So I pull back a little bit just to keep my maintenance, and I'll just watch body fat and watch performance and adjust accordingly. Digestion-wise with foods, the only issue I had, I started eating some grapefruit at night, and I realized like it's just causing me some bloating when I wake up in the morning. So my waist was like felt just bulky today, just distended. I think that's the food that's giving me the issue. So I'll probably try pulling that out. For training, I'm just going to keep everything at least the same for now because performance is still really good. I'm still having a really good workout, so if that starts tapering off, then I'll consider adjusting it. But right now, I feel like I have plenty of rest days to where it's not going to be an issue at all. So we'll just move forward with it. I want to give you an update. I'm going to try to get back on doing these videos for y'all and keep y'all in the loop of what's going on. So let me know if you have any questions below, and I will talk to you next week.